I start?
Yes, please.
Hmm?
Yes, please start.
Yeah. So, being the first speaker in this panel, and so I think I should talk about what should be the perspective of any Harit action for making this world water prosperous. So I would emphasize a little bit on what do I mean by the Harit, and what are the Harit actions. So I will not go much on the action part, but it's basically a 3P paradigm. First start with the what is our perspective towards water problems. Second is which would lead to a good policy, and then sound field actions. So I'm talking a little bit about the perspective part. uh, what should be the our approach to make this water prosperous. And if you can see in my address, I've written specifically that I belong to Bharat River Basin. I live along the shore of the Arid and Bharat River. And that was, I think, in earlier times, it was the tradition that everyone was having this idea that he or she is a part of that particular river basin. Next slide.
1 second.
Yeah, no issue. So I start with this Yurvedi Pratana. This we call this Shanti Mantra, and sometimes I describe it as the climate peace prayer. So this is the basis of the what I call the Harit perspective, that uh, when we, and it's a holistic sort of a mantra where we pray for the peace of everything, all 5 elements. So with this Pratana, I start my presentation. Next. So next is about, I can see on the bottom part, yeah. So how do we see the water? What is our perspective towards the water? So mainstream science and everything, every book says that water is colorless and odorless and tasteless. But we see our ancient scriptures. Uh, it says that it describes about the color of water, and then uh, uh, not just they talk about not just about the purity of water in terms of the physical, chemical, and biological terms, but they describe it good water as the divine water. In terms of the taste, if you read Gita, in which Krishna says that Rasoham Sukonte, that means I am the taste in water. And there is one verse. Yeah. So and there was one verse in Taittiriya Upanishad, which is Yopai Matam Vedam Ayatan Man Bhavati. That means those who understand the potential of water and work for the conservation and enhancement of water, they attain the true wealth. Why I'm saying is that we need to change our perspective and look beyond the mainstream definitions and perspective of water. Next slide. Uh, So, as I mentioned that, normally when we talk about the purity of water, we talk about the physical, chemical, and biological parameters of water. But we all know about this famous Japanese experiment, and they say that water gets affected by our actions, our emotions, and our behavior. So, if our behavior and our emotions are good towards the water, the internal molecular structure would be well arranged. You will see very beautiful configuration. So, when you treat water with compassion, the configuration would be different. When you treat the water, when you abuse, I mean, differently with anger or when you abuse the water, the configuration would be different. That means beyond this physical, chemical, and biological things, there is a term which we call the internal molecular structure of the water. And some people says that because the traditions understand this concept of internal molecular structure, so they always respect the water. They pray along the shores of the rivers and the lakes, and that is the reason that water internal molecular structure is well configured, and that's why this sort of water, we call it a divine water. It has good effect on the animal life, plant life, and human beings. Next slide. This approach, Harit, I've said this is about holistic actions for revitalization of indigenous traditions, because all our indigenous traditions, they respect water, and there was tradition of working for water, building the water sources, water resources, and not considering water as a commodity, not just as tool, not just as a source, but as a life source, but as an elixir of life. And this concept we know is the Panch Mahabhoota concept, where water is one element. So what is required today in terms of the perspective and policies, that we should look beyond the confines of hydrology and hydraulics and hydrometallurgy. We should discuss, we should explore more about hydromorality, hydrosociality, hydroculturity, hydrospirituality, hydroecosity, and hydroserenity. So we need to change some of our perspective. Next slide. Next slide. So this is, I mean, when I say Harit, it's not Hindi translation of green, because I can give an example. So what is the green? So if the electrical consumption of my place is say 1 kilowatt, and it is a thermal power supply, I will stop this electric supply and shift to the solar panels. That is the green approach. But again, there is no I mean emphasize on the conservation. So Harit says that we should go towards the conservation, we should go towards the enhancement, we should go towards the respect and and the saving and enhancement of water. So the Harit approach is ecocentric approach. The green is the egocentric approach. So we need to shift from egocentric approach to the ecocentric approach, because in green, or in other words, in the mainstream paradigm of water management, we do not talk about the judicious use, respect of water, harmonification of water. We are not prayerful towards the water. Next slide. So what's the difference when I say Harit and when I say green? So sometimes I'd say that green leads to the greed, Harit leads you to the Hari. So in green, there is a kapat. In Harit, it's about saving of water. When you say green, it sometimes leads to the overexploitation of our water resources. But when you say Harit, it is about judicious use, right use. It is more, lifestyle centric, not just technology centric. It is more about building the dialogue around water, uh, not having the confrontation over the issues of water. So Harit approach, that is, reviving the indigenous traditions about water, is Yog Kendrit, whereas the mainstream, this concept of green is Bhog Kendrit. Next slide. So here is the famous, which we all have heard about, the Upanishad, the famous verse, Om Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kicham Jagatyam Jagat Ten Takten Bunji Tha Magrat Kasas Vidinam. That means that this universe, whether living or non-living things, is all permeated by the God, and we should use all these life sources which God has created as needed, but not hoard as this all belongs to me. So we use all these water resources, I will call it the water sources, life sources, with the spirit of sacrifice, not as that we are the sole possessor of these water resources. So if we go with this approach, it would not just be, not emphasize on the circular economy, it would lead us to the circular ecology. It will not just be, the anthropocentric, it will be ecocentric. We will not just talk about the economic growth, we'll talk about the ecological growth. And we will not consider ourselves as the stakeholders. We'll consider ourselves as the caretakers or the stake takers. So if you can imbibe all these values in the water management, we will have sufficient water, we will not have any conflict, and through care, compassion, co-learning, cooperation, coaction, we can make this world water prosperous. So, and for that, what is required? Prem, Paramarth, and Parishkar. That is the basis. This is the holistic approach with which we can solve the water problems of the world. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is basically, when I say the indigenous traditions, it is not just limited to India. In all traditions and all cultures all around the world, water has been treated as the sacred. And if you look at around in India, if you go in any agroclimatic zone, from centuries, the people are building the water sources. The societies, managing the water sources. So I've described, different agroclimatic and ecological zones, and you see how these traditional water structures have been created by the society there. That means water conservation is basically an invaluable spiritual, social, and cultural tradition in India. Next slide. So with last two slides, I will sum up and I will say that Harit approach is basically a respect approach. What we need is, sometimes when you say about the water management or water conservation, we talk about the, reuse, reduce, uh, uh, regenerate, recharge, recover, restore, retain, rejuvenate, all that. But the paramount is what we should respect our water. And in technical terms, I can say this acronym as R is resilience, E is economy, S is social, that means people and culture. Place means socio-ecological zone, which I mentioned in the beginning that I belong to the Bed Basin, not just an administrative unit of Udaipur. And the E is environment, C is climate, and T is technology. So the respect approach is required to make this world, water prosperous. Next slide. Click again. Click. The complete slide will come. Please click. Yeah. So keep on clicking. Keep on clicking, please. I will describe in. So you can see what is required, to make this this world water prosperous. So these are the, different dimensions which are shown in this slide. So we need, if you want to provide self-sufficient water to the people, we need catchment to tap approach. So we will keep our catchment protected, we'll conserve our catchment. And if that catchment area is, or the drainage basin is properly managed, the people will have the good quantity, sufficient quantity and good quality water. So we need catchment to tap approach. We need from catchment to street approach to avoid all these flooding problems. We need ecosystem approach. We need, we need different, latest technological tools like modeling and all that. We need water-centric planning of all our cities, and we need multidisciplinary approach. Can you click again? So one more click, please, if you can do it. So sometimes I call it RESPIRE approach. RESPIRE is in terms of the acronym, but I already mentioned the respect approach. So if the catchments are respiring, if the catchments are good, if the drainage basins are good, and uh, yeah. So this is there now. So let all our water sources, our catchment areas, give them opportunity to respire. Respire means we should work on resilience, we should work on ecosystem approach, we should involve the people, we should go beyond the administrative boundaries, and we should go for the basin approach. We should plan our resources, our infrastructure, everything based on water. We should preserve and conserve and enhance the environment and ecology of the river basins and water basins. So this is in one slide I mentioned that what approach we require, what actions we require, and with what perspective we should do to make this world water prosperous. And I call it Harit approach. And Harit approach is basically based on what is written in the Prithvi Sukta of the Atharved, Mata Bhumihi Putrom Prithviya, that this earth is not just a planet, this is our mother, and our relationship with this mother is this planet is like mother and children. So we should go for milking of this mother nature, not just the exploitation and over exploitation of this mother earth. So with this last slide, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anil Mehta. This is a great learning. We always wanted to know, and agree that water has emotions. It does. So it's a great presentation. Thank you so much. Would like to know anybody has any question on this.
I hope I have finished in the given time.
Yes, yes, yes. You're good. You're good. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll wait for
Anilji,
yes.
Anilji, this is Ram. Wonderful presentation. I also read somewhere that there is a lot of research happening on the water. While we drink water, if we pray and tell the water that Amrit ho, it will act as Amrit.
Yes.
Is it right? Just
Yeah, yeah, it's
wanted
right.
to
It's right.
know. Yeah.
Yes, it is right.
Okay.
And that's
Great.
why,
Great.
other than this, what is there in this, when you talk about the Ganga, why the Ganga water is pure in that area, it is basically that there is a lot of prayers along the shores of the, other than the all this, the science. It is said that because the water imbibes what your emotions and your behavior, it is there.
Okay. Great. Great.
Uh,
I think, yeah. That's
Thank
my
you,
question.
Anil. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, Uncle.